Hi, guys. It's Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I had myself on mute. So yeah, that's what when you do all your own videos, you gotta be you gotta be on the ball. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. It is great to see you here. It's time for another reading. So I just wrapped up our weekly session with the School of Animal Mystics. And for all of you who reached out to me about the School of Animal Mystics, I tried to respond to everybody and we got a bunch of new people in the group. But if you missed it, check your spam folders because sometimes the emails, you know how this stuff works. Look for something from the Animal Reiki Lady and it'll sometimes go to your spam folder. So that you can have the link to join our calls in the future. Yeah, we do it on Zoom once a week, every Friday, and we talk about everything mystical, most of it related to animals, but we go way down the rabbit hole with all the mysticism stuff, all the ESP and and telepathic communication and all that kind of fun stuff. Anywho, so at the end of the meeting today was specifically talking about channeling and in particular channeling animals. And as soon as our mystic class ended this morning, I had a pull. I felt the pull to do a reading that's been a long time coming, and that is for a beautiful animal companion named Dove. And Dove is actually a painted turtle. And Dove's human was asking for a reading, and it's been a while. So I went back to try to pull some of the folks that have been waiting for a reading. So don't worry, I will get to you. I will continue to do these for you. Okay, so let's see. What did Dove have to say? So Dove, I feel so connected right now because when we were in the School of Animal Mystics, we were talking about channeling animals and how God speaks to us through animals and how it's so much easier for us to hear messages sometimes when it comes through from our animals. And so we're gonna channel Dove, and I have to say that I have never channeled a turtle before, so that's cool though because it doesn't matter. Species does not matter. We could channel a tree if we wanted to. Anything that has been created and is alive, we have the ability to connect with and to get answers from, to seek some answers from. So let's think about Dove. And I'm going to give you guys a little exercise today too. So I like to close my eyes and I just quiet my mind and I go inside and I ask the question, what is it you want us to know? And and I know that our animals want to give you answers. And I'm happy to be this channel for you. I'm happy to let your animals come through with messages, but I'm going to help you today come up with a way that you can connect with your animal. We're going to do a little exercise. So if you can, have a pen and paper handy. If you need to come back to it, that's fine too, because these are recorded, so there's no sense of time. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper and you can play along with us. But for now, let's first talk about Dove. So the beautiful Dove, as I close my eyes and go inside. I have an interesting scent. So I'm very in tune with smells. And this first began with my grandmother, who after she crossed, I know she would be in my presence from a very particular smell. And it wasn't a perfume or anything like that. And that's how I knew it was my grandmother. It was the scent of electrical burning. So keep your minds wide open for the ways that your animal companions may come across to you. But ever since that sense of electrical burning, which happened in the home on the day that she crossed, it had nothing to do with her death, but that smell stuck with me. So that now when I smell that, I immediately know that she's in my presence. So I'm getting a smell from Dove. Um, it's not a bad smell, but it's a smell of like old, okay, it's old rotten leaves. That's the smell I have, is like a pile of old wet leaves. It's not necessarily unpleasant, but it's a very distinct smell that I'm getting from Dove. So I don't know if that means anything for Dove's human, but that's the smell that I get. Um, okay, so what else is coming through from Dove? I always love to try to give something very personal, so I don't know if that smell is anything. Berries. I'm getting a sense of berries. Was Dove not permitted to eat berries, but loved berries because, okay, poop. Uh, who, cha who channels something about poop? But that's what I'm getting. Berries and poop. Um, we'll come back to some of that. Okay, Dove has spoken to you. Dove has already spoken to you. Dove is a very spiritual turtle. One of the things that Dove's human said to me was that he was devastated when Dove passed. And so I want you to know that no matter which animal companion shares your life, they all have intense meaning for us. And they're all very spiritual beings. But I have a sense that Dove was a very unique spiritual turtle. Can there be such a thing as a spiritual turtle? I think so. So Dove was a very unique spiritual turtle. He spoke to you. You did not know that he was speaking to you. This was while he was alive, not just past, that he could connect with you. He understood you. He understood you, and he knew what you were thinking most of the time. He had a strong sense of what you were thinking most of the time. And trees, and going back to the leaves again. What's with the leaves and the trees? No tree is ever sad that it has lost its leaves, and Dove does not want you to be devastated. Just because Dove has transitioned to a different form of energy, he does not want you to be devastated because okay, this came through a little bit in the School of Animal Mystics today, is that animals want us to get over this obsession with death, and not death, this obsession with loss. That's it. They want us to stop being so obsessed with loss, because just because they are not in their body does not mean they aren't still with you. I know that message comes through time and again, but Dove is saying it very clearly. Dove could speak to you while he was still here on this planet, and Dove could speak to you can speak to you now from the other side. And that's why I think that's why I'm being called to give you this exercise today, about how you can connect with your animal companion. So one of the things that I do is I do these journeys, and people hire me to help them get in touch with their animal companion that has crossed to the other side. And we do a guided visualization. I guess that's what it is. It's like a guided journey. I tell a little story that takes you to a place where you can connect with your animal on the other side, because the messages that they have for you, they give me a lot of messages to share with people. Sometimes they're very personal messages. Other times they're very broad and general messages that apply to all of us. But the messages that they want to share with you, the answers that you are looking for from your animal companion, are meant for you. And that by taking people in this little guided visualization, there's like a 10-minute period of time where I don't do anything. I'm totally quiet, and you have this connection with your animal companion and let them share whatever they want to share with you. They can answer any question. They have all the answers, and they can help us. This is the other thing coming through from Dove. They have the ability to help us live a better life. If there's something unfulfilling, if there's a desire that we have not been able to achieve, or a goal we haven't been able to get to, our animals from the other side, our people too, by the way, have the ability to help us get there. I'm just trying to see if there's something else about that Dove is trying to get through for me. They can answer our questions. So I was going back to, I take people on guided visualizations, but it doesn't have to be that complicated, especially if you're one of those folks who thinks, I can never follow a guided visualization. I can't meditate. My mind is always here, there, everywhere. This is a quick 5-minute exercise. I encourage you to do it every day. I firmly believe we all have the ability to connect with. So the word channel has such, I mean, when we think of channeling, we think of people who, like, they step aside as other entities step into their body, and then their voices change and they deliver this message. It doesn't have to be that way at all. It's almost like comparing a telegraph to a cell phone. We now have the capacity. We have grown so much in our spiritual ability. We don't need anymore to have an intermediary. We don't need a priest, a rabbi, a shaman to help us connect with to help us connect with God, to help us pray, to help us get messages from the other side. And I think animals have come here to kind of make this easier for us. And when they cross to the other side ahead of us, which they almost always do, it's so that they can help us better. They have a better way of helping us connect with God, spirit, universe, source, whatever you want to call it. Little frog in my throat. Okay, so do you guys want to do this with me? Let's do this little exercise right now. And if you have to come back to it, come back to it. And for Dove's Papa, you should do this too. And I like to start with something that is you can call it a talisman, and your animals don't need this, but we humans sometimes do. So you guys know this is Winston. I keep a little bit of Winston in a little pendant urn right with me all the time by my heart. But I know this is not Winston. It's just a reminder of Winston, and something when I feel him there, it just makes me feel good to know that he's close to my heart. But you could use anything that might remind you of your animal companion. So this is Jack's paw print. And when Jack crossed, so when you have senior dogs, be prepared that I had 3 seniors, they all crossed very close to each other. So this is my beautiful Jack right here. That's his paw print. You could always use like a collar. This is Lucy's collar. Um, Anything that will remind you spiritually, that will help you make a physical connection with your animal. Now, in the Hawaiian tradition, you guys may not know this, but in the Hawaiian tradition of Huna, which is like the Hawaiian spirituality practice, in the tradition of Huna, they believe that every living thing leaves a trace of itself with us. So whether it's a piece of their hair, a piece of bone, which is also, that's a whole topic for another day, what do you call those things? When I was a little girl, we used to have them, like a piece of a bone from a saint. Can't think of a relic. There you go, a relic. But anyway, so Lucy's collar still smells like her. It's amazing. I mean, it still smells like her. I can smell her, and of course, I'm sensitive to smell, so that's my thing is smell. But you might want to anything that helps remind you. And in the Hawaiian tradition, they believe that every single living thing leaves a trace of itself with us, and often they will leave it on some part of themselves. So when you find, like, when you pull the sofa out and you're to vacuum and you find a little bit of hair from your pet, yeah, hang on to that. Okay, so let's do this little exercise with me. So if you can grab a pen and paper, it's only going to take a couple minutes. Doesn't take more than a couple minutes at all. You can make it take as long as you like. But if you have a talisman, that's great. If you don't, a little relic, if you don't, that's fine too. But we're going to write something. And this is often called automatic writing. It's one of the ways that I still channel information. But it's what I used to do all the time. Instead of like coming right on screen and channeling information for you, I would write it all down first. I would let them come through to me and just start to write the messages. But you can do this. Everybody has the capacity to do this. It just takes a little bit of trust. And if you ever trusted your animal companion in life, you can trust them now that they've crossed to the other side. So what you want to do is you want to breathe. So breath is a beautiful bridge to help us quiet our own minds. And I know we've all got stressors, we've all got worries, we've all got these things that constantly chatter in the back of our mind. Everything from did I leave the milk out and did it spoil? Did I turn the curling iron off? To how the heck am I going to pay that bill? And what am I going to do about my car? We all have that stuff. I call it 3D stuff. I don't use the word stuff, but it's all the dense things that we live with. For the next 5 minutes, let it go. You do not need to worry about it at all. It will be there when you're done 5 minutes from now. But you can get some answers that might help you get through some of that stuff. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to breathe and close your eyes just for a minute. And if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Operating heavy equipment, don't close your eyes. Close your eyes if you're in a safe space to do so. If not, come back and do this. So close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. And when you do that, kind of sit up straight. We have a tendency, I just caught myself doing this, have a tendency to hunch over, especially if we work at a desk all day long. You have a tendency to hunch over. So just kind of sit up, let your spine be straight so that all the channel is open from head to heart to core. Just let that be open. Take a nice deep breath. I love to feel like I'm breathing in love and light. I know that's said so much, but breathe it in. Breathe in that beautiful energy that surrounds all of us. Breathe in love and light. Let it fill you up. And on the exhale, share it back out. Just share it back out till you create just a nice, comfy space. And this is your space right now for the next couple minutes. Our breath connects us to everything. And if your mind starts to wander as you're doing this practice, just come back to your breath. It's that easy. Come back to your breath. No judgment. We all have that stuff. All right, now I'd like you with your eyes closed just to picture your animal companion. So right now I'm picturing Jack, my handsome boy, my yellow lab. Just picture him, hold him in your mind. Think about how much you love them. Let it be a happy thought. Just hold the picture in your mind and very gently open your eyes, keeping them in your space. So right now you've got this nice calm space going on. And I want you to pick up your pen and I want you to write at the top of your paper this question or this statement. What do you want me to know today? Just write that at the top of your paper. What do you want me to know today? Or what is it you want me to know today? And then I want you to write a word, any word, the first word that comes into your mind, I want you to write it. And then the next word and the next word. You may get words, you may get pictures, you may get phrases, you may get feelings, you may get thoughts. Write them all down, no judgment, just begin writing. Take 5 minutes to write everything that comes into your mind. Good, bad, or indifferent, there is no judgment. Just begin to write, let it flow. This is known as automatic writing. And when we start to give names to things and labels to things, it kind of throws us off, but don't let it. You just write whatever you want, words, thoughts, feelings, no judgment. In fact, some of it may even be nonsense. And I mean, if you listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza at all, he calls it no sense. Like it really is nonsense because it's not linear the way that we think of, and it doesn't necessarily flow in the way that we've been taught to write from left to right, top to bottom. Just let the words flow and see what you get. And take a couple minutes to do this. And I'm just going to be quiet for a moment now, but you're going to do this for as long as you choose. And keep in mind your animal as you're thinking about this. Let your heart be filled with love. Love, by the way, is the secret to everything. Love is all there is. Greatest commandment is love. Yeah, not cliches. So just take this minute and write. And in real life, you may be writing for a couple of minutes. I know we just did it for a couple of seconds here. But I would encourage you to come back to this every day. We are all looking for answers. We're all wanting to know why things happened the way they did. We want to know what to expect in the future. We want to learn how to create the life of our dreams. I think some of the most watched channels on YouTube are all about manifestation and living the life of our dreams and how do we create the reality we want. And then I get so many requests about the feeling of loss and the feeling of devastation that we have when our animals cross to the other side. And the biggest message that they want me to share with everybody is that we shouldn't feel that sense of let go of the sense of loss, release the loss and allow them to come in, allow them to help you, allow them to work magic with you so that you can live your best possible, happiest life. And if you do this every single day, just take a few minutes. What does it take for 5 minutes if you can get the answers that you're looking for? When our conscious mind gets in the way and we can't see the forest for the trees, we can't come up with a solution to the problem that is plaguing us, turn to your animals. Turn to your animal who doesn't hold on to things. Turn to your animal who knows how to play. Turn to your animal who's in a place now where they have all the answers. Let them help you. And that's one of the ways you can do it. So thank you for letting me share this experience with Dove. For those of you who may be interested in learning more about this and you want to join the School of Animal Mystics, I put the link in the description. You can always reach out to me. You guys always seem to find my email, and I'm cool with that. I love making all these connections. I love the community that we are creating. It's awesome. It's amazing. And it is, I know, shifting things for everybody because we are really, really tapping into all the beautiful things that we can experience in this life. Okay, for now, have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be. Let the animals light your way. Take care.